In 1911, a small group of Christian families moved to the South Bay with a passion for loving God, loving people, and making disciples. They formed a church and began reaching out to the community. The church grew so much that in the 1950s, they bought what they called 4 acres of faith in Manhattan Beach. What started as 30 families in 1911 has grown to a thriving spiritual community of over 3,000 people who today call Journey of Faith their home. In 2015, our church went through some big changes. We welcomed a new lead pastor, created a new mission statement, new core values, and began to pray about what to do with our continued growth and the wonderful challenge of having filled our 4 acres of faith. What do churches do when they have run out of room but have a passion to continue God's mission to reach people with His love? Well, one option is to build larger buildings. We've been doing this for over 20 years, and our campus is filled to capacity. Another option is to sell the campus and move to another site. We considered this years ago, but sensed that our church was historically and strategically placed on this corner for a reason. Another way to grow would be to use what's called church planting, starting new churches that run on their own. Unfortunately, church plants come with too many big challenges. As our 6 services at Journey of Faith were filling up, we started thinking, what if there was a way to offer even more church services on Sunday mornings, but maybe at a different location? And it turns out, this is exactly the most successful strategy of large and fast-growing churches in the United States. It's a strategy called multisite. A multisite church is one church in multiple locations. One easy way to think about a multi-site church is that we are adding another worship service, but just in a different location. And we believe this approach offers the best way forward for Journey of Faith. After conversations with our elders and pastors and a lot of prayer, we partnered with a company called Multisite Solutions, led by one of our own congregation members, Jim Tomberlin, to help us look at Journey of Faith becoming one church in more than one location. Then we started on the strategy. Our first step was to work what we called a set of constants, which include the same name, mission, core beliefs, core values, bylaws and constitution, leadership, message, ministry philosophy, programming, and a variety of other areas. We needed these to make sure that our first multi-site location would be the same church, not a new church. Our second step was to find a location for a new service. We looked at where our congregation lives, works, and has small groups. After weighing many options, we zeroed in on Torrance. Our third step was to prepare ourselves for Sunday ministry in more than one location by launching services in what is now known as the worship venue. We're still honing this experience, but every Sunday many hundreds of people experience Journey in what used to be our overflow area. With the worship venue in place, it was finally time to take the last 2 giant steps: hire a campus pastor to lead the staff team at the new campus and solidify a new location. Both of those things happened in the summer of 2017. In August 2017, after a nationwide search for someone with church leadership and multi-site experience, we hired Alex Grauman. Alex had spent 8 years with Eagle Brook Church, a multi-site church of almost 30,000 attenders across 6 campuses. Alex joined our team and helped us start formulating a solid launch plan. In September 2017, we found our location, Torrance High School. Torrance High has exceptional facilities that meet our needs. It has a fantastic auditorium, great space for children and students, and a sprawling and welcoming campus. Our first multi-site location of Journey of Faith starts in February 2018. We'll send Alex, 6 other incredible staff members, and many of you to Torrance to help continue God's mission of bringing people into His family. Here are the 2 things we need from you. First, we need you to pray. Pray for us and for our teams, but also pray that the Journey of Faith service we create in Torrance will reach people who have never been to church before. Second, we need you to consider what role you might play at Torrance. Are you one of the 250 to 300 families we're praying will be part of the first launch season at the Torrance campus? We need as many people as possible to jump in with both feet to make this campus successful. The truth is, we believe that Torrance campus is just the beginning. We believe that God has called us to a new season of being a multi-site church that will result in hundreds of new people making a first-time decision to follow Him. When those first Christian pioneers came to this area to start our church in 1911, they could not have imagined that someday it would grow to a church of over 3,000 attenders. So even as we launch into the new adventure as a multi-site church, we know that God's plans are even bigger, even more beautiful than we could ever imagine.